What's up guys, Houndish here, and today we're going to jump in with some Destiny 2 Forsaken news to talk about, as well as some roundups and updates regarding the current Destiny 2 update, the Solstice of Heroes and Moments of Triumph coming up over the next few weeks. So in terms of the Forsaken DLC, we have a little bit of new gameplay inside of the Dreaming City. We get a look at some new combat, we learn about new NPCs that we'll find in the expansion. We're also going to talk about Cayde's voice work in Forsaken. We have some confirmation that Nathan Fillion will not be doing the voice for Cayde-6. There are brand new references to Eris Morn in some of the lore for the Solstice of Heroes armor. Some pretty interesting stuff to talk about there. And we're going to break down new armor upgrade materials that we'll use in Solstice of Heroes, new various bundles, items, and rewards that we'll find inside of the event. So plenty of stuff to talk about in this video, guys. As always, if you enjoy it, a rating below is very much appreciated. But let's jump straight into it. So first up, Game Informer's coverage for Forsaken continues. They posted some new gameplay of the Rift Generator public event taking place on the Dreaming City. And there's a few interesting things to point out. So at the very beginning of Game Informer's new gameplay, we do hear the voice of a new NPC, and she says that enemies are advancing up the beach on the eastern shore.
Spotted advancing up the beach on the eastern shore.
We can see that this character is listed as an Awoken Corsair right there in the HUD. So it looks like we are going to run into other Awoken NPCs and characters throughout the campaign that then may be featured inside of certain mission dialogues and things like that. Of course, separately, we also know that Petra Venge will be the vendor inside of the Dreaming City, but fleshing out the Awoken, even more characters and backstory is of course always good. On the subject of the public event we see in the gameplay, Game Informer says the event has you powering up a generator, then defending it from a deluge of enemies to prevent it from shutting down. Eventually, as the generator deteriorates, you'll have to grab orbs dropped from some of the stronger enemies and run them back to the generator to charge it up again. They do say we'll leave it to the players to figure out how to trigger the heroic version, which takes you to the Dreaming City's darker side, the Ascendant Realm. So that's pretty interesting. You actually will go to the Ascendant Realm inside of the heroic version of this event. We can speculate as to exactly how you trigger the heroic version. Interestingly, there is a Taken Blight that we see form at one point during the event, and I believe it's the only time we actually see it, so that could be something to do with it. Either way, pretty cool stuff. I will link Game Informer's article down below as always. But now let's talk about Cayde-6 and Nathan Fillion, who of course has been voicing Cayde-6 up until now in Destiny. So we spoke to Kotaku about the new Uncharted fan film. He actually featured in that. And Kotaku said Fillion also confirmed something that Destiny fans had suspected. He did not play Cayde-6 during the E3 trailer in which the robot hunter's death was revealed. In fact, Fillion says that he didn't play Cayde-6 at all for this year's Forsaken expansion. And he did confirm that the voice you're hearing is actually Nolan North. Fillion did add that he's one of many Destiny 2 players who doesn't believe that Cayde-6 is actually dead though, which is pretty interesting. But then we have it confirmed, a lot of speculation that Nolan North had actually done the voice for Cayde, and that is absolutely the case. So I'd be curious to hear what you guys think about that. Of course, when we actually get to hear more of the dialogue, I suppose we'll probably hear more thoughts from people. But there's a bunch of new lore inside of the game which actually references Eris Morn. So on the lore tab for the Solstice gloves coming up in the future Solstice of Heroes event, there are a bunch of messages from Ikora Ray, and she says, Eris, if your quest has not claimed your last life, know that we have not given up on you. When we rise again, there will be a home for you once more. And Ikora goes on to say, the rest of you hide, watch, and wait for word from me, and if that word never comes, you all know what to do. There's also a new reference between Eris and Cayde, and this takes place during the same time period as Destiny 2 on the whole. So Cayde says, you know Eris Morn, right? Creepy three-eyed old hunter, too much foundation? It doesn't matter. She comes in and she asks me how Io was, and I say, wrong Vanguard, ask Ikora. And she's like, I was hoping that cache next to the bones marked your grave. And I'm like, I'm an exo. I left my bones behind a long time ago. And she goes, exactly. And then Cayde says, do you get anything from that? So either way, what we're seeing here are references to Eris Morn actually being around during the time period of Destiny 2. And as I mentioned, these are new pieces of lore that have been added to gear and things like that. There have been more references to Eris Morn being on a quest to kind of hunt down the Hive and ultimately try and figure out how to destroy them. And Ikora does make reference to that if your quest has not claimed your last life. And so it looks like we're probably going to see Eris Morn at some point in the future. In vanilla Destiny 2, there were a bunch of references to Osiris and things that we'd see in the Curse of Osiris. Since Curse of Osiris and even vanilla Destiny 2, we've had a lot of references to things that would happen in Forsaken, Cayde-6, Prince Aldrin. And so considering that has been the case up until now, it looks like seeing these kind of references definitely hint to the return of Eris at some point in the future. I'm guessing we'll probably get further hints to it during Forsaken. Maybe Eris would even feature into the story for the campaign. We'll have to wait and see, but I'd be curious to hear what you guys think as as well. Here's a really random thing to point out, but in terms of a quality of life update, Healing Rift now appears on the HUD, so it actually gives you a countdown for how long your rift is going to be up. Just a minor change going into the future DLC, but it could be a beneficial one. Now though, I want to round up some stuff about the Solstice of Heroes, the current update in Destiny 2. So there are the expired prismatic matrix tokens. If you had any of these left over, they will actually dismantle into 150 bright dust. So we can see that here from the Reddit post. I did actually dismantle 2 of the ones I had. So I did get that 300 bright dust. I didn't record it, and I do actually want to hold on to this last one for some reason and just see what happens. But if you do have any and you need some bright dust, it's definitely worth bearing in mind. For the Solstice of Heroes armor, we know that there will be 3 different variations, and we'll start with a kind of scorched set, and then we'll upgrade it through various means. There will actually be a new upgrade material used for some of this. So we have the Rite of Mending, a common upgrade material for the scorched set of Solstice of Heroes armor. Presumably you'll need these to actually upgrade those pieces of gear. And then there is the Rite of Measure, and this will upgrade the Rekindled set. We do have RITE of Superiority right here. For some reason it doesn't have an icon, but this is for the Resplendent set, which is the final finished legendary version. So I don't know whether these will drop as we complete various different pieces of content and activities in the event, or whether they will simply be objective based, but we will be using these upgrade materials. We know that we're going to be getting glows on the armor, very similar to Chroma that we had back in Destiny 1. One of the primary sources for this is going to be the new Solstice engram, but we also have a bunch of legendary packages, so we know what that means. These will be inside of the Eververse store. We've got the Arc Glow Pack, and this will provide a glow for every piece of armor, so each piece does actually require a different one. You've got the leg, helmet, class item, chest, and arm glows, and so naturally there is also a Solar Glow Pack and a Void Glow Pack. And these actually come with a perk, so the armor glow packages will rotate daily, so I'm guessing they'll always be present in the Eververse store. And if we look at this one, this package is only available on solar days, so every day of the week, or every couple of days at least, it's going to be rotating through. So there will be various ways to get these different glows for the armor. And then, as we often see, there are other bundles as well. Dance Party bundle, coming with different emotes and boons. The Celebration Vehicle bundle, this comes with a couple of legendary vehicles from Solstice of Heroes and a shader. There's the Omni Elemental Glow Pack, which is a huge pack of different glows. You get various different colors and various different types. There's one that even has the new ornament for the Soros regime. So as expected with live events, Eververse will definitely be a feature, but it looks like Bungie have created a bunch of other ways to earn some of the gear and stuff inside of this event. So we'll have to wait and see exactly what will happen. But a final thing I wanted to mention is one of the new exotic catalysts that we got inside of the update. So from the Spire of Stars Prestige mode, you can actually pick up the Sleeper Simulant Catalyst. It's a random drop from any encounter or any of the chests, but now folks are actually trying to hunt down how you do the full upgrade for this. So the first thing is that you will need to have each of the Escalation Protocol weapons in order to even do the upgrade. So you need the SMG, the shotgun, and the sniper rifle. Pretty crazy stuff, but you get a bunch of kills with the Ikelos weapons. And then there is actually a bit which I don't believe anyone's completed at this point. You have to find something called IOJYS. Now that does actually reference the Warmind bunker, which is on Io. People have tried going straight to the bunker. They've tried doing the various adventures and missions that take you through there as well. I think folks are even looking on the Crucible map Javelin. So pretty interesting that a catalyst would require so much work, and even that final stage hunting down a very specific item or thing on Io. I'm curious to hear what you guys think about that, and how many of you have actually jumped into any of the new Prestige raid lairs. Funnily enough, I haven't actually cleared one, so on Wednesday I wasn't able to jump into either of Worlds. And I only had an hour or so yesterday in the Spire of Stars. We got right to the end and then missed an orb, so that was my Prestige clear out the window for the day. But the new weapon system and the way that it kind of works, you have these fixed loadouts. So this week you need to have a kinetic pulse rifle, an energy SMG, and then a grenade launcher in your heavy slot. You can use any different weapon that you want, but you just have to fill those slots out. And then there's a system where you have ammo in one weapon at a time, so you can see I get the pulse rifle magazine. Once that empties, I get the SMG ammo, and when that empties, I get the grenade launcher ammo. So you keep having to cycle through. Pretty interesting stuff, definitely more challenging. I actually find the weapon switching to be the most irritating thing on a controller, at least. If you're on PC, you know, like a quick switch with a keybind or something isn't too bad. Don't want to give too many more thoughts on it just now until I've actually, you know, cleared a couple of them, but it's definitely different. I'd be curious to hear what you guys think below. But that's going to sum this video up, guys. Some interesting stuff to talk about as always, so let me know any of your thoughts on it down below in the comments section. If you have enjoyed the video, a like is also super appreciated below. I want to give another quick shout and say a massive thank you for the continued support on the new Houndish Awesome Day shirts that we launched a couple of weeks back. I really appreciate appreciate all of you guys who picked them up or even checked them out. That is super awesome of you. And if any of you do want to check that out, I will link it down below. But if you are new to this channel, feel free to hit subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss out on any Destiny new stuff. But for now, I really appreciate you tuning in, guys. Whatever you do, have an awesome day.